Welcome back to today's episode on Chemistry Made Easy with Bright Edu. In today's video lesson, I'll be teaching on how to solve questions on the pH and pOH of a solution without using the calculator, because the JAMB exam does not have the function logarithm. So without the function logarithm in the calculator, we can't solve it, but we'll be using a simple trick to solve problems under this aspect without using the calculator. Now, it must be noted there are some formulas that you must know under this aspect. Now, the first of them is solving questions on pH. And the formula for solving pH is simply minus log into brackets H plus. Now, it must be noted that pH is relating to acid, and acid is relating to H plus, which is hydrogen ion. So H plus here means, or it's called hydrogen ion. Now, for instance, this H plus is inside a bracket as seen in the formula. The name changes and it becomes hydrogen ion concentration. So what does it mean? It means that in chemistry or in science, whenever we're having a bracket, that bracket means concentration. So H plus inside the bracket is called hydrogen ion concentration. But for instance, we are given a question in the JAMB exam to solve for pH of a solution, and we simply bring out this formula. We cannot proceed because the calculator in the JAMB exam does not have the logarithm function. So we can't solve using this formula. But we have other alternative formula which I'll be explaining in the course of this lesson. Now, we have a very simple formula to use, which is pH is equal to N minus log A. Okay? N minus log A. This is a very, very easy formula to apply whenever solving questions on the pH and pOH of solutions. Now, in the course of this lesson, I'll be explaining how this formula is being applied. But let's quickly talk about pOH. Now, pOH basically has a formula, and it is minus log into bracket OH minus. Now, it means that pOH is dealing with what? Base, and base is dealing with the OH minus. And what is OH minus? It's called hydroxide ion. So OH minus is called hydroxide ion, and also OH minus in a bracket is called the hydroxide ion concentration. Okay, it's called hydroxide ion concentration. But this formula can't be used in the exam because we actually don't know logarithm of all the values. That is why I said that before entering the exam hall, you have to memorize all of these values from logarithm 1 to logarithm 10, because it's very important when solving problems on this. So I'll bring a question here, so solve it with the easy approach. Now, since we can't use this formula, we simply use same formula, which is pOH becomes N minus log A. So same formula still apply for solving pH and pOH. So let's quickly move over to an example so I explain how this formula is being used when solving problems under the pH and pOH of a solution. Now let's quickly move over to the first question for the day. Now, I said this table must be memorized, okay? You must try your best possible to know the values for the logarithm from 1 to number 10, okay? Log 1, 0, log 2, 0 0.30, log 3, 0.48, like that. So, let's quickly solve this question. Now, the question says, what is the pH of a 4 times 10 raised to the power of minus 3 moles per dm cube hydrogen ion concentration required? I said whenever H plus is in a bracket, you add concentration to the name. So it's called hydrogen ion concentration. If it was just H, you call it hydrogen ion, okay, in HCl solution. So basically for this question, they are asking us to get pH. And we already know pH deal with acid, and acid deal with the H plus. So definitely we use the first approach of the formula, which is minus log into bracket 8 plus. But actually when we use this formula, we can't actually get the answer because the 8 plus in the question is already given to be 4 times 10 raised to the minus 3, okay, moles per dm cube. Okay, this is the hydrogen ion concentration. Now, if the calculator in the exam is a scientific calculator, that means it has various functions, we can actually impute this value into the formula to be minus log into bracket the 8 plus, which is 4 times 10 to the minus 3. So when we press the calculator, we just get the answer and choose our option. But now the calculator in the JAMB exam does not have this function, so we can solve with this. But that is why to do that, we simply bring the hydrogen ion concentration out, which is 4 times 10 to the minus 3. And I gave an alternative formula to be used when solving this problem, which is pH is equals to N minus log A. Now we're going to assign values to all of these symbols using this hydrogen ion concentration. Okay, that is how it works. But before we even solve, let us estimate the answer to this question. Now, you simply do that with the power given in the question. Now, you can see the power here is 3. So the question you ask yourself, will the answer lie between 2 to 3 or 3 to 4? So will the range of the answer be between 2 to 3 or 3 to 4? It is always to the lower ranges. So basically the answer will be between 2 to 3 than 3 to 4. Okay, this is something we must take note of. So with this, we can simply eliminate some of the options here. So I said the answer is going to be between 2 to 3. So we eliminate this option. This option will eliminate it, okay, out of it, because here is already 3.4, which is higher than 3. We eliminate this option still, okay, we eliminate this option. And which other option should we eliminate? Okay, there's no other one. So we eliminate both options because they are actually very high than the range of our answer. Because I said for you to actually get the range, since the power is 3 here, you just go from 2 to 3. For instance, the power is 4, it becomes 3 to 4. That is how it works. For instance, the power is 4. The power is 4, so the range becomes 3 to 4 or 4 to 5, but it goes to the lowest range, which is this. So that is how it's gotten. So the answer we get will be between option A, B, and C. So how do we now impute values to these symbols? We simply use this power. So it must be noted that the A always go to the value here, which is 4, and the N always go to the power, the positive power, which is 3. For instance, the H plus given equation is 5 times 10 to the minus 4. The A and the N, what becomes the A value? You simply pick the power here, the value here, which is 5, as seen here, and the N, which is a positive 4. So that is how it works. So let's actually impute this into the formula. So P8 will now be equal to, what's the N? The N is 3 minus log, what is the A, which is 4? Log 4. And we already know that you must have crammed or memorized this table. So log 4 here is P8 will now be equal to 3 minus log 4, which is 0.60. Okay, you can see that is the value for log 4. So pH becomes 2.4. So when you subtract 3 minus 0.60, the pH becomes 2.4. So you can see in the option we had 2.4 to option B. So you can see this is the answer. And recall, we already got the range of our answers by doing this. Okay, so you used to eliminate the one that won't be the answer. So basically this is the answer to the question. You can see how questions under this aspect are being solved without stress. So let's quickly move over to other practice problems in order to understand this concept better. Now let's quickly move over to the second question. Now the question says, what is the pH of an 8 times 10 raised to the minus 4 mole per dm cube H plus of HI solution? That's hydrogen iodide solution. So first of all, we have to know the range of the answer. So we simply bring the H plus down, which is 8 times 10 to the minus 4. Now we simply bring our power. So will the range of the answer be 3 to 4 or 4 to 5? it always goes to the lowest of range. So the range of the answer will be between 3 to 4. So definitely option E is out of it, and all other options still remain. So we check for the correct answer. So after doing this, recall if we had a very perfect calculator in the exam, we just use the first formula, which is pH equals to minus log into the 8 plus given is already given here. So pH will now be equal to minus log into 8 times 10 to the power of minus 4. Okay, so if they gave us the a good calculator that has logarithm function, we just impute and press the calculator and get the answer. But now we don't have a very good calculator. The calculator there does not have this logarithm function, so we simply bring out the alternative formula, which is pH will now be equal to n minus log a. So we simply bring this our h plus. The h plus is 8 times 10 to the power of minus 4. Recall I said to get the n and to get the a. The n is always this value, which is 4, and the a basically is 8. Okay, that is what I said. The n is always the power, and the a is this value, which is 8. Now when we do that, pH becomes the n basically is 4 minus log 8. And what is log 8? Which is 0.90. So pH becomes 4 minus 0.90. So when we solve, pH becomes 4, that's 4 minus 0.90, that's 3.1. So you can see actually the answer here is option B. So you can see how questions on this aspect are being solved. For instance, we had the calculator in the exam hall. So let's just check if this answer is actually correct. So we simply press minus log into bracket 8 times 10 to the minus 4. We get 3.0969. So approximately it is 3.1. So you can see how it is gotten. So because the calculator given in the exam is not actually standard, so we actually use an alternative formula to get the answer to the question. So let me bring another question here, so you solve and you provide the answer in the comment section below. Now this is the question you will be solving, and you provide the answer in the comment section below. So let me quickly move to other aspects these questions can be asked. If you check the pattern of the question we'll be solving, you can see that for all of these values, they are all whole numbers, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's check whereby these values will not be whole number. We have a decimal like 7.4, 3.5, like that. So we know how to solve questions under that aspect. Now let's quickly solve this question written on the board. Now it says estimate the pH of a 3.5 times 10 raised to the power minus 5 mole per dm cube H plus of hydrogen iodide solution. So it means that this is the value for the H plus. Now normally we simply bring out the H plus value, which is 3.5 times 10 raised to the power minus 5 moles per dm cube. Okay, and also we just say if we had a very perfect calculator, we just use the formula, which is minus log plus, and pH becomes minus log into the H plus given in the question, which is 3.5 times 10 to the power minus 5. Okay, which is minus 5 mole per dm cube. So we simply press the calculator and get the answer. But now we don't have a very good calculator that can do this. So we simply use the alternative formula I gave. But if you check, do we have any value to, like in the logarithm table here, do we have like log 3.5? No. But hold on. You know already I said we use another alternative formula, which is pH is equal to n minus log a. So we simply bring the h plus down and it becomes 3.5 times 10 to the power minus 5. And I said that n and a, the n is always the power, which is 5, and the a is basically the 3.5. So what we simply do here, we just say pH will now be equal to n, which is 5. Okay, recall the n is always the power and the a is the value front here. So pH becomes 5 minus log a, which is minus log a, which is 3.5. But if you check this table carefully, we don't have any value like log 3.5. but we can actually solve it. Now, if you check, log 3.5 is between 3 and 4. Okay, 3.5 as a value is between 3 and 4. Now, how do we now get for the log 3.5? We simply do this. Log 3.5 will now be equal to the average of the values, because actually 3.5 is in between 3 and 4. So we take the logarithm and the average. We simply say log 4 plus log 3 over 2. Okay, this is what we do. So log 3.5 will now be equal to, what's log 4? That is 0.60 plus log 3 0.48 all over 2. So log 3.5 will now be equal to 0.54. Okay, when we do this, when we solve for this expression, which is 0.54. But when we actually press log 3.5 in the calculator, we get log 3.5 to be 0.544. So you can see they are in the same range. So this is the log 3.5 we'll be using. So definitely the pH becomes 5 minus log 3.5. You can see how we got log 3.5, because they're asking for 3.5. That's why we already know that 3.5 is in between 3 and 4. So we take the average of this value, okay, we divide by 2 and get the value. So 5 minus log 3.5, which is 0.54. So what becomes the pH? What becomes the pH? It becomes 5 minus 0.54, that is 4.46. Okay, that is the pH, which is 4.46. This is the answer. But for instance, they are asking us to get pOH. We are done getting pH, but they are asking us to get pOH. We simply use an equation which is pH plus pOH is equal to 14. So basically, we are asked to get pOH. We make it subject. So pOH becomes 14 minus pH. So pOH becomes 14 minus the pH, which is 4.46. So pOH becomes 14 minus 4.46. 14 minus 4.46, that is 9.54. Okay, 9.54. That is the pH. For instance, they're asking us to get, so 14 minus 4.46, that is 9.94. So you can see how questions on this aspect are being tackled. So let's quickly move over to the last example for this video. And if you like this video, do well to hit the subscribe button and share my videos to friends. Now let's quickly move over to the last question for the day. Now the question says, calculate the pH of a 7.4 times 10 raised to the power minus 4 mole per dm cube H plus solution of H2SO4. That means they are asking us to get pH. Okay, and pH formula is minus log into bracket H plus, and the H plus is already given to be 7.4 times 10 to the power minus 4. So we simply impute, so pH will now be equal to minus log into the H plus. The H plus is 7.4 times 10 to the power minus 4. Or if we have a very good calculator, we can simply impute this and put it in the form in the calculator and get the answer. But now we don't have a very standard calculator. That is why we are to use the normal method I said. So the formula alternately becomes pH now because of n minus log A. Okay, now recall you take the H plus down, which is 7.4 times 10 to the power minus 4. And I say that n and a, the value for n is always the power and the a is this value, which is 7.4. So the question you ask yourself, if you check all of these values, we don't have 7.4 as a value for logarithm, like 7.4 to give us something, no. But actually 7.4 is in the range of two values, and it is 7 and 8. But 7.4, which is it closer to? Is it 7 or 8? It is 7. Okay, so what we simply do first, because we are actually to get the log of 7.4, because when we say pH will now be equal to n, which is the 4 minus log 7.4. So to get log 7.4, we simply do this. Okay, we simply do this. This is a very, very easy approach. It's different from the 3.5, because 3.5 is just the center, is at the center between 3 and 4. but 7.4 is not at the center between 7 and 8, but 7.4 is closer to 7. So to get it, we simply say log 7.4 is equal to the difference in the logarithm between 7 and 8. This is something we must know. The difference in the logarithm between 7 and 8. So log 8 minus log 7. This is something we must take note of. Log 8 minus log 7, we put it in a bracket, times. Now, if you check, the whole number of this value is 7. And 7 is actually attached to a value which is 0.4. So we times with the 0.4 because this can also be written as 7.0 and 0.4 because this makes up 7.4. So we simply times the difference with 0.4. This is how the concept work. Actually, I'll be giving another question, so you try use the same approach and get this answer. Log 8 minus log 7 because it's found in between the range of these two values times 0.4. You can see why 0.4 because here actually 0.4 makes up this 7.4 because 7 and 0.4, so you take this smaller value here. So you now times with 0.4. So after doing that, you now add with the lowest of the ranges because the lowest of the ranges is log 7. Now this is what I mean. So I want to rewrite this. So it actually becomes log 7.4 is equal to log 8. And what is log 8? It is 0.9 minus log 7, which is 0.85 into bracket times 0.4 plus. Okay, that's it. I say you are adding plus the lowest range, which is 0.85. That is how the concept works. So log 7.4 will now be equal to 0.9 minus 0.85. We are having 0.05. So inside bracket is 0.05 times this. So 0.05 times 0.4 plus 0.85. So 0.05 times 0.4, that is 0.02. So log 7.4 is equals to 0.02 plus 0.85. Okay, so we do that 0.02 plus 0.85. We get log 7.4 to be 0.87. So you can see log 7.4 is 0.87. But now you can see the way I actually got the answer without solving using the calculator. Okay, I got the answer without using calculator. These are some concepts. I said if the value was 7.5, here is 7.4. If it was 7.5, we just take the range of these two values, which is log 8 plus log 7 over 2, as seen in previous example, which is for 3.5. But now it is not that value, it is 7.4. So what actually happens here is 7.4 is closer to 7. So to calculate for log 7.4, we simply take, we are still interested with the two values that 7.4 is inside. So we take, say log 8 minus log 7, we do that first, times, you can see that if here was like 7.5, sorry, if here was like 7.6, so what becomes this value? It becomes 0.6. Okay, if it was 7.7, 0.7. Okay, after doing that, we now add with the lowest of the ranges that forms the ranges. We add with the log 7 value, not log 8, log 7 in this concept. So you can see how it works. So at the end, we got log 7.4 to be 0.87. Now let's check the calculator. So let's see if we are going to estimate or get this range of value. So log 7.4 basically gave us in the calculator 0.8692. You can see it is approximately 0.87. So without using a calculator, you can actually get the answer without stress, as seen in this example. So what happens here, we just say pH will now be equals to 4 minus log 7.4, which is 0.87. So pH will now be equals to 4 minus 0.87, which is 3.13 as the pH, 3.13. If we like started, if we had a good calculator and we input the value here, so it becomes minus log 7.4 times 10 to the minus 4, we actually got the value to be 3.130768828. So you can see it's approximately same value. So but now we don't have the calculator in the exam, so we have to actually follow this due process and get the answer. So I'll be putting another question here and I'll explain how to get the answer. So you solve, I provide the answer in the comment section below. Now this is the question you'll be solving. I provide the answer in the comment section below. Now you can see for the H plus value, the H plus value is given to be 3.3 times 10 raised power minus 2 moles per dm cube. And you already know that when you impute the first formula I gave, which is pH equals to minus log into H plus, when you put this value in the place of this H plus and press the calculator, you get the answer. But now we don't have the calculator in the exam, so what we simply do is to use an alternative formula, which is basically pH will now be equals to n minus log A. Okay, and I told you guys that A is assigned a value. You bring it 3.3 times 10 of minus 2. So this n is assigned a value and A is assigned a value. So after doing that, what you get as your A, you will now look for it. So if you check carefully, you can see that 3.3 is in between 3 and 4, but it's closer to 3 than 4. So first of all, to get your value for log 3, in the place of this A, you simply subtract the logarithm value of 3 and 4. Like log 4 basically 0.6 and log 3 is 0.4. So you subtract first and times. And now if we check inside here, we have 3 and 0.3. So you now times that value subtracted with 0.3. After doing that, you now add with the lowest range of your ranges, which is 0.48. So that is how it works. So after doing that, when you are done solving for log 3.3 without using the calculator, you check the calculator whether you have the correct answer. Your answer you corresponds to the calculator answer. So when it's the same, that means what you did is actually correct. So at the end of that, you now come to the formula and impute all of those values and get the pH of the solutions. After doing that, you now come to your normal formula and impute the value. So you check if the answer is correct. So at the end of it, the answer you get is going to be in the options here. So I know if you like this video, do well to hit the subscribe button and also share these videos to friends. Thank you very much and God bless you all.